What's going on, Geeks and Gamers? This is Ryan with RK Outpost and geeksandgamers.com, and today I saw this wonderful article from MovieWeb, and I did make a quick video for my channel, but I really wanted to get one on here too and could put it in a little different perspective. And it made me laugh because you look at the title right here, and Emperor Palpatine was absolutely dead in George Lucas's Star Wars 9. And it shouldn't really come as a surprise. It's not a surprising thing to see this because that's what we all know in our hearts. We all know that this was never planned, even in this sequel trilogy. Let alone, George Lucas's plans himself. But this Disney sequel trilogy that they've made up, we know that Palpatine was just pulled out of the hat, that this is all done in a panic mode after The Last Jedi. But it's interesting to get this perspective because, although it's not straight from the horse's mouth, it's about as close as it can get. So let's go ahead and read this article. Ian McDiarmid, so the actor who plays Emperor Palpatine, recalls a conversation he had about Palpatine with George Lucas. Before the sequel trilogy hit theaters, the Scottish actor wanted to know if Palpatine was officially dead. According to Lucas, the iconic villain was indeed dead after throwing down the Death Star's reactor and then exploding into 1,000 pieces. This is what Star Wars fans have believed to be true for over 30 years now. We didn't believe it to be true. It is true. We all know that. The Rise of Skywalker has somehow resurrected the character. Back in 2013, and it's important to note, this 2013 would have been after 2012 when Disney bought Star Wars and George Lucas handed in his story treatments. So this is after that. Ian McDiarmid had a chat with George Lucas about Emperor Palpatine before the sequel trilogy hit theaters, but after it had been announced. McDiarmid states, "I remember saying, 'Is he dead, George?' at the time. And he said, quote, 'Yes, he is. Absolutely dead.'" That seems to be about as official as you can get right there. And yes, it does. And come on. Like, all of us know this, looking at this, that there was never part of the plan in this sequel trilogy to bring Palpatine back until they needed a gimmick, until they needed someone else to draw nostalgia on, until they needed something else so you can have that laugh at the end of the trailer at Star Wars Celebration, and everybody goes crazy for it for some reason. Now, when you look at Kathleen Kennedy's and Michelle Rejwan's comments, I wanted to go over these too, because these are the people who say that it was all part of the plan, that it's in the DNA of Star Wars. And, I've covered this on my channel. Candace actually covered this article on Geeks and Gamers. And, right here, one of the big decisions made by JJ and Chris Terrio was bringing back the Emperor. Was there a worry that bringing back the villain would undercut the endings achieved in those two trilogies? Michelle Rejwan, I think there was a feeling of inevitability that Palpatine had been a part of all three and in the biggest picture of 9 movies. His presence in the movie won't spoil that, but it does feel to us the feeling of inevitability, and it's very important to JJ and Chris and to all of us. I think it definitely feels as though it's in the DNA of the 9, which is just absolutely asinine. Like, we all know this. People that were looking at this rationally said, there's no way that the Emperor could be back. They didn't foreshadow any of this. And it's clear that George Lucas, in his plans, said Palpatine was dead. Now, George Lucas is one to, change his mind every once in a while, but this is immediately following his story treatments that he handed in. So, when you see these articles trying to say, well, that would have been part of George Lucas's plan too, we have it straight from his mouth that it would not. Seems to be about as official as you can get right there, but in the Star Wars universe, nobody has ever really gone, which is how The Rise of Skywalker has been marketed. Palpatine is back, and there's some serious questions as to how. Very true. And you see right here, Ian McDiarmid, he was shocked and very excited that J.J. Abrams contacted him about bringing Emperor Palpatine back. McDiarmid did not expect it, nor did Star Wars fans, because they made it up last second. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Abrams was excited that McDiarmid wanted to return. The Rise of Skywalker opens in theaters next week. While there have been some unconfirmed leaks, I mean, come on, the leaks are, I think, every TV spot that comes out, unless this is just some ridiculous, 4D underwater interdimensional backgammon, I don't think that there's any chance these leaks are fake. Everything seems to be going just as the leaks say. Every trailer that's released, we see more and more. But, maybe Disney has a plan. It appears that most of the story is yet to be revealed. We still have no idea how Emperor Palpatine is back after being blown to pieces with the rest of the Death Star. though Star Wars canon has told us that he and Darth Plagueis were exploring eternal life and using the Force in unnatural ways. I guess I'm not super familiar with Star Wars Disney canon. However, in the expanded universe, that was true. Darth Plagueis is a great book that goes into depth about that, but that's no longer canon anymore. So this is the main theory that fans have been using to justify the iconic villain's return to the franchise after all this time. And it's just funny. Straight from George Lucas. Anybody that wants to say, oh, Lucas would have brought back Palpatine too. We've seen all that stuff for the past month or so, trying to explain away Rise of Skywalker and the fact that this is all just a gimmick. But there you go. From Emperor Palpatine himself, George Lucas said he is absolutely dead. There's no denying that. So I thought it was really funny. Wanted to get that to you guys as soon as possible. But either way, it's going to be really interesting come Rise of Skywalker, how they try to explain how exactly Palpatine survived after we saw him, blow up and then the Death Star blow up. It's going to be very interesting. I'm sure it'll be great. I'm sure it'll go over really well with fans. But we will see. We will see. I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about George Lucas coming out and saying he is absolutely, definitively, 100% dead in his sequel trilogy? And what do you think that means for Disney and whether they had a plan all along? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Hey everyone, it's Jeremy from geeksandgamers.com, and if you're a fan of Geeks and Gamers, please go to our website, visit our merchandise store. We have t-shirts, hoodies, hats, beanies, tank tops, and in the very near future, we're going to have many more products for you to choose from. So thank you for the support. We appreciate it. You guys have a great day, and we will talk to you later.